30,000 feet, what goes to sit, 30,000 seats, had to get out of reach, to know nothing's out of reach. Mama said she was proud of me, man, and I believe that we all come with wings, and we all come in peace, and we all come to be forever, forever, and ever.
I believe we all come with wings, we all come in peace, we all come to be forever and ever and ever and ever. I believe we all come with wings, we all come in peace, we all come to be forever and ever and ever and ever.
ADT, they lock doors. APC, I cop more. I know I gotta pray to God more. My vision getting tainted a lot more. Face of magazine pages a lot more. And I can see it in their face a lot more. I know that I've been drinking a lot more. Savion Blanc, I think I faded a lot more. Me and Josh Rocky about boy. You talk about hits, you talk about this, you talk about mine, let's talk about yours. No, I'm at the top of your list. Let's talk about grind, let's talk about time. See, I won't be fine till top is off floor. If you can't top this, then please don't talk. Let's change the topic, cause I am not for it. 30,000 feet. Now that's real high. Really when you peer outside, it's what you feel inside. Their whole career's a facade. Can't even look me in my eyes. Got a head full of steam and a heart full of pride. And I came in the game with a veil like a bride. I'm the one with the stripes, old penny. In my lifetime, there's only been one Whitney, one Daryl, one DeWan, and one Denny. 3 Michaels, 1 Barry, and 1 Griffin. New edition, Bob Mike, Ron Ricky. Ground floor and low sport top, a cop thrifting. With the ends low, that's the low end theory. Young James finna blow. Yo, kid, never when the going gets tough and the tough gets going. And your eyes start flowing and your heart gets weary. And your days turn to months and your months turn yearly. And the years go by and the hills high by. Trying to kill my vibe or y'all gon' kill me. Either way I live on, either soul and song. Cause I'm still holding on to what y'all won't give me. Can't stop, won't stop, no God gon' hear me.
Cause I wrote it.
30,000 feet.
I can't hear a thing. All I see is blue. But I feel everything. All I see is blue. I can't hear a thing. All I see is blue. But I feel everything. I believe we all come with wings, we all come in peace, we all come to be forever and ever and ever and ever. I believe we all come with wings, we all come in peace, we all come to be forever and ever and ever and ever.
I wrote 30,000 feet, what goes to sit, 30,000 seats, had to get out of reach, to know nothing's out of reach. Mama said she was proud of me, man, and I believe that we all come with wings, and we all come in peace, and we all come to be forever, forever, and ever.
I believe we all come with wings, we all come in peace, we all come to be forever and ever and ever and ever. I believe we all come with wings, we all come in peace, we all come to be forever and ever and ever and ever.
ADT, they lock doors. APC, I cop more. I know I gotta pray to God more. My vision getting tainted a lot more. Face of magazine pages a lot more. And I can see it in their face a lot more. I know that I've been drinking a lot more. Savion Blanc, I think I faded a lot more. Me and Josh Rocky about boy. You talk about hits, you talk about this, you talk about mine, let's talk about yours. No, I'm at the top of your list. Let's talk about grind, let's talk about time. See, I won't be fine till top is off floor. If you can't top this, then please don't talk. Let's change the topic, cause I am not for it. 30,000 feet. Now that's real high. Really when you peer outside, it's what you feel inside. Their whole career's a facade. Can't even look me in my eyes. Got a head full of steam and a heart full of pride. And I came in the game with a veil like a bride. I'm the one with the stripes, old penny. In my lifetime, there's only been
Mad church disease. a channel that's all about current events, news, and Christian drama. A channel that's dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Our brothers and sisters who courageously stepped outside the safe bounds of institutional Christianity to tell the truth. A channel whose goal is to help the average person understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. So like, comment, subscribe, and smash the notifications button to be a part of this channel.
Oh, wait. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Make sure you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, it looks like I can hear myself on this other thing, so I should be good. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Mad Church Disease podcast. Tonight is going to be just as, I think, informative and very challenging for me to talk about and to get into this subject. Tonight, we're going to be talking about unmasking the truth, the toxic Black leadership of Clarence McClendon. But not just Clarence McClendon. We're going to actually focus on the three men that you saw in the you guys saw them on the thumbnail earlier. But primarily, we're going to be dealing with Clarence McClendon. Now, let me just simply say this. This is a hard show for me to do. It's a hard show for me to do because I've talked about this over the years, but I've never gone into what I'm about to show you, and never talked about it in this manner. Now, I realize I have a lot of friends who are former members of Church of the Harvest, and I have a lot of friends who are, there's a couple of people that I recognize when some people say videos. There's some people that I still recognize that are still attending the church, but not a lot of those people. I don't know a lot of those individuals that are currently a part of the ministry. How shall I say? Tonight, I want to deal with toxic leadership, and I want to talk about what does membership really guarantee you in the institutional church. And we're going to talk about that, and we're going to get into it in a little bit of detail. And I'm going to show you some videos of some churches in America who and some members of those churches who have been padlocked out of their church. I'm going to show you a video of one particular pastor who was trying to sell the church without the church knowing. I'm sorry, I heard myself and I was like, where is that coming from? Let me turn that off. It's on my phone. I try to make sure that I can hear myself before I come on. So we're going to get into it tonight. And there's a couple of things. I'm also going to be talking about that TD Jakes story with blood. Of course, you know, the other night we had Brother Leonard on the phone and I couldn't remember that whole case, but there's just a couple of things that I want to talk about as far as that's concerned. And we're going to move off of that real quick. But the reason why I have Marvin Winans on the thumbnail is because Marvin Winans is exhibiting to me toxic Black leadership amongst the institutional church. Hey, Moni, I believe is that Moni? Yeah, that's Moni. Hey, Moni. What's up, Sharon T? What's up, Maria? And we're going to get into it. Let me head up because I don't want nobody to get mad. What up, Daryl Moore? What up, Betty? I see you, Betty, old faithful Betty. Yeah, look, I love and appreciate you, Betty. Thank you so much. CC, good to see you here. Lynn Pearson, good to see you here. Who else is here? Angela Smith, good to see you. Mike Moore, good to see you. And so I am good to see all of you. Here we go. Now we're going to be dealing with toxic Black leadership, and I'm going to give you some background. Let me just simply say this: you cannot discredit a person's personal experience. as much as you may not like the comments that I may say, and you may feel that they are somewhat rubbing you the wrong way, what you have to understand is this is my personal experience. I'm not talking about something I heard. I'm talking about something that I lived through. And yeah, there might be some little nuances of things that were in, but we all know where there's smoke, typically there's fire. And you don't lose thousands of members of a ministry because somebody just made up a whole bunch of stuff. That's not what happens. And that's not how it happens. Typically, when you lose as many members as Church of the Harvest or whatever he's calling it, Place of Grace, I think he's calling it now, you don't lose those types of members just because people got upset. It is an accumulative situation. It is something that tends to happen on top of an overwhelming amount of stuff that keeps coming at individuals. Now, before I get to Clarence, I want to talk a little bit about Marvin Winans first. Marvin Winans has been trying to build a church for the past 20 years, folks. And I'm talking to some people tonight, and I'm hopefully talking to some people who are determined to put on your thinking caps. And I want you to think like a mature, matriculating adult. I want to talk to the adults in the room tonight who are paying rent, who are paying mortgages, who have light bills, who are trying to send their children to college, who are faced with an overwhelming amount of circumstances and situations. I want to talk to you all tonight. And I want you to understand that the comments that I'm making tonight, just like this ticker tape says on the bottom, is not to be malicious towards anybody. It is to get you to use your brain. Now, when I came out of the institutional church in 2005, one of the things that I was determined to do was to not be angry or mad. And I'm not angry, or I want you to understand, I'm not mad. The reason why the church is called, the channel is called Mad Church Disease, is because I typically get mad when people start talking stupid and doing crazy stuff. And that's why I called it Mad Church Disease, because so many of us have a very difficult time using our cognitive skills when it comes to religious matters. And so I'm going to talk tonight, and I'm going to walk a little heavy, but I'm expecting you to be mature enough to understand what I'm saying. And if you're coming behind this program and you're watching this program, I'm going to tell you specifically, if you are silly in these comments, I am going to delete you and I'm going to block you. It is just that simple. And this does not take an overwhelming spirituality. We don't have to go sit in a room. We don't have to, put our hands up to heaven and start speaking in tongues. We don't have to do none of that. We just have to use our brains that God gave us. So I'm going to be giving you some traits of toxic leadership as well. And we're going to be talking about that. Marvin Winans, over the last couple of weeks, and you all know that Marvin Winans has been going through a lot of stuff. And he's been going a lot of stuff physically, because he has been going through some stuff physically. I don't know what just happened there. Okay, wait. What just happened? Okay, now don't start tripping. He's been going through some stuff physically, and I want to take some time out here for those of you that have not been made aware. Marvin has been dealing with a lot of stuff physically, and he has made several statements outside of, passing out. And if you have not seen it, Marvin passed out in Bible study.
If somehow he's not able to keep his word. And if God is not able to keep his word, then I understand the depression. I understand why we give up. But if we trust, hallelujah, hallelujah. If we trust God has said and believe
And Marvin topples over like I'm a little teapot, short and stout, and he tips over. I want you to hear one of the things that we have a problem with in the institutional church is being able to speak to leaders and to speak to people who are in these prominent roles or that we call leaders about some of the choices and the decisions that they make as it relates to us as a people and collectively as a church or a body of believers or a fellowship. Marvin has been trying to build a church for over 20 years. This church now sits as a shell with no pews, no insides, no nothing. And personally, I think that the stress of all of that, the physical situation of all of that is overwhelming for him. And I think on some level, he is just unwilling to face the reality of a situation. But I want you all to understand, if Marvin builds this church and the thousands and upon thousands, if not millions of dollars that will be given to the Perfecting Church and Marvin Winans and Perfecting Faith Church will go into Marvin Winans becoming the owner and the property deed holder of a multi-million-dollar property. I want you all to hear me. What we continue to do in the Black church is we continue to give millions and millions of dollars for these men and women to buy and purchase properties and to live such lavish lifestyles with no accountability. In our American culture today, we are allowing these people to live in places and spaces that they cannot afford. And I'm going to be showing you Clarence's home in a minute. But I want you to understand something here. I want you to understand something. They're able to live like this because we are paying for them to live like this. Okay? And they are able to build these churches, put these churches in their name, sell those churches, and keep all of the money. Now, Noel Jones, from what I was told here recently, St. James had said something to me because I asked St. James a question about, because I didn't even know Noel Jones had sold a church. But apparently he sold the church to Amazon based upon what St. James had said to me for millions of dollars. But the church was paid for by the people. And what I'm not understanding is why, as we as a people are allowing ourselves to continue to give money to people who are turning these buildings over to themselves, pretty much putting it in their name, and they take all of the money. Because now I'm talking about toxic leadership. Now, if you are truly, in my opinion and estimation, called by God to do a work, why wouldn't you will or deed those properties over to the people who will be following you in succession to continue the work? Some particular point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we have to come to grips with the fact that we are funding these men's lifestyles, and these people are able to live a certain kind of life because we are funding it. And I don't care whether it's your local pastor, I don't care your TV minister or your favorite YouTuber, right? That is what it is, what it is. Okay, so let's talk about this. So let's talk about it. Now, yesterday or the day before, we had a story to break on Dr. and Dr. Dingleberry. Let me see. Did I close it? Let me see. Oh yeah, I did close it. Hold on. Let me get down here. Dr. Dingleberry had a man on his platform who is a registered sex offender, and told by Brother Leonard and some other people, this man actually committed another sex act while he was out on parole, wearing an ankle monitor. Okay, by I'm not kidding, and I can't make this stuff up. I really can't make this stuff up, y'all. Let me see if I can pull something up here while I'm talking to y'all. Sorry about this. No, I don't want to do that. Here's what I want to do. So Dr. Dingleberry brings this man onto his platform. And this particular man that you see next to Dr. Dingleberry is a sex offender. Okay? He's a sex offender. And for some odd reason, because we are discussing this and we're talking about it, people seem to not understand, number one, that we have a right to discuss it. Number two, that just because the man is coming back and he's now making claims about Bishop T.D. Jakes does not mean that we cannot take his history into consideration. And I'm having a frustrating time with some of you trying to get me to understand that the totality of the man's message needs to be received just because of who he's talking about. And I'm so sorry. There's a lot of things about TD Jakes I do not support, but I also do not support pedophiles, and nor would I sit by dinner table a discussion with a man about pedophilic behaviors and things of that nature with somebody who has perpetrated it, not once, not twice, but according to what I understand, multiple times. So I'm having a very difficult time why you all don't seem to understand that where that information comes from is very, very important. Dr. Dingleberry could not tell me that grass is green and the sky is blue based upon his past history and his past behavior. I'm sorry, that's just me. Now, I realize some individuals are going to listen to whomever they want to listen to. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But don't get mad at me if I have a difference of opinion as far as how this information is coming out and who is bringing out the information. Don't get mad, because now we're talking about toxic Black church leadership, right? We're talking about a subject that we're discussing tonight. Okay. Now, to my friends, and let me get to, and the reason why I came on early today is because I got a long road to carry, and I didn't discuss Marvin, but Marvin and Clarence is really the discussion here today because they exhibit toxic leadership. But let me get to the subject at hand, because I want to be here and be able to go do some other stuff once I'm done with this show. Hopefully I won't have to have a part two. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Clarence McClendon, of course, Clarence McClendon was one of the featured on the Preachers of LA. And if you are unaware, he was also my pastor for 9 years, really longer than 9 years. I served the Church of the Harvest for 9 years. Okay. And now let me preface this by saying this. I typically don't like coming online and discussing Clarence because all the pastors that I have had in my life, which really there have only been only three pastors. One when I was a child. There was another one when I think I turned about 10 or 11. And then when I turned, I think 15 or like 12, 13, then I had a pastor all the way up into the time I became an adult. And so I guess that's 4. But I don't really consider those other people my pastor because I really didn't know them. And I think that's another thing that we need to understand. You're not pastoring somebody who doesn't know you. They're not pastoring you. They don't even know your name. So I don't even know how in the world they could come to be talking about they're your pastor. But that's a whole nother subject and a whole nother situation. It pains me to have this conversation. I don't even take any joy or pleasure in having this conversation. But this conversation needs to be had because I'm sick and tired of people coming over here trying to tell me about my own personal experience in this black church and in church, period. So let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Several years ago, I told you guys that we had a church on La Brea Avenue. Matter of fact, to the church was South La Brea Avenue. That was the name of that was the address to the church. Okay. All right. It sits on the corner of Adams and La Brea. Okay. The picture that you see on your screen is now the church is the building that you see, and you see that it says New Life LA is the banner that's on the church. And yes, that is somebody selling stuff on the outside of the church. That was the church that we had. That was the new church that had been built. And if you look at this church based upon where it is, you will see that there was no graffiti. The church was in pristine condition. Still to this day, it's a pretty decent church. This church seats about 2,500 people. Okay, so understand we had 5 services a week. Okay, we were running roughly about 15,000 people out of this building through this building on a weekend basis. Okay, on a weekend basis. All right. As I told you guys before, when Clarence decided that he wanted to get a divorce from his wife, we had just built on a garage to the church. And this garage, see here, this little garage was an addition that was added onto the church so that he would have the ability to come into the building and be able to, not have to park his car and then walk around. He could actually access the building from inside of this garage. So just so that you understand, that is what we're talking about here. Okay. Now, just to give you another vantage point, this little section of the building, the little building where the car is, that was the garage that was built onto the church, and that was added to the church so that he would have the ability to get in to the church. Okay. And there's a reason why I'm bringing all of this up. I told you guys at one particular point in time, having to start worship the Palladium, and my worship with the Church of the Harvest ended in the Palladium. Okay, so I did not travel with them to the tent. I did not travel with them in on 135th and Torrance when they were over there, Gardena and that other stuff. That wasn't me. I left a long time ago, gone. Okay. And I told you guys last week why I left. So I'm not going to go down that whole road again. If you didn't, you can go back and watch my other video. What I want to talk about tonight is toxic leadership, because Clarence has decided, again, which I think is bad judgment, that he is going to use his bullet start telling people who and where they should be voting and who they should vote for.
Going against the basic principles of the Word of God, I cannot vote for you, no matter what color you are. You don't have to like me. Hear me very clearly. Kamala Harris will not get my vote. And let me tell you why. It's not because I don't like her. I think she's fine. But the people who are financing her, the money behind her, the hands that are moving her mouth, are the money and the forces that are trying to destroy the basic fabric and foundation of the Judeo-Christian ethic. And you mark my words. You say, well, who are you voting for? That ain't your business. I might write myself in. I'd be a better president than most of the choices. I may not win, but at least my vote would have integrity. And let me say this really clearly. We got to get to the point where we are not trying to vote saviors into office. I don't need a savior in the Oval Office. I got a savior in the holiest of all. I don't need anybody for me in Washington. God is for me. And if God is for me, who can be against me? You don't like me, I'm preaching the truth.
All right. Clarence says that it is the money that is behind Kamala that is causing him all of the trouble. I guess he forgot about Elon Musk when it comes to Donald Trump. I guess he forgot about those other brothers who are funding him and all of the those other two gentlemen. So I guess he forgot all about that. He's only focused on who's funding Kamala Harris. And we're going to deal with this sermon at a later particular point in time. We're going to dive into the sermon a little bit deeper. But we're talking about toxic Black leadership. When you have preachers and pastors who have become quite wealthy because of their ministries and churches and people funding them, who then start to ask African Americans and individuals to start voting against their interests and saying it is going against the fabric of the Judeo-Christian ethic and principle. Well, first of all, the Judeo-Christian ethic and principle has not been taught at the police station, because we keep getting our tails beat up and shot dead. So while you're so worried about this Judeo-Christian principle being taught everywhere and saying it's the very fabric of who we are, it is not the fabric of who we are as Americans. That is a lie, and that is a complete fabrication and notion on your part. It is the Christian bubble that you are allowed to live and exist in, while we have been funding people like Marvin Winans and Clarence McClendon and T.D. Jakes. It is a toxic leadership that would allow individuals to tell a group of African American people to vote against their interests because it is going up against the Judeo-Christian ethic. Let me tell you one thing. It was the Judeo-Christian ethic that told those people it was perfectly fine for them to have us in chains and to throw us the slop that they know that they didn't want to eat. Yes, that's what I said. Let me be very clear. And Peter, I'm gonna put your comment up. I am being very careful, and I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me very well, Peter. First of all, you're new to my channel, and I need for you to fall back until you find out who I am and what I'm talking about, okay? Because we're very careful over here, okay? All right. I think Satan is most certainly setting us up. He's setting us up because we're picking sides on an evil bird and in an evil system. Because to be honest with you, no politician that is on that ballot is trying to forward the Judeo ethic and Christian principles. That is a lie. Okay, that's the simple plan to that. And I don't have an alt against anybody. Let me be very clear. I'm simply talking and teaching lessons here. Pay attention, Peter. Pay attention, Peter, because I don't have time to bring you up to speed and where you need to be. So fall back and listen. It is a toxic leadership for anybody to tell you to go against the very fabric of what you need as an individual to serve a party or a group of people. Let's be very clear. Whether you are on the Democratic side or whether you are on the Republican side, because I'm on neither one of those sides. I can't stand this mess. And I don't even understand why Christians are choosing sides and trying to pick sides. There is no side to pick. This is all evil. As I said to y'all last week, the whole thing is evil. But to have a person who has a microphone and a platform and who says that they are a man of God, to get up in front of a group of people and tell them that he cannot vote for an individual because of whatever reason that he has, you are out of place. You're out of place and you're out of pocket. We're talking about toxic leadership. Toxic leadership. All right. Stay focused. Because I'm trying to be nice. Stay focused. Clarence is running around here saying that the woman is unholy. and she's ungodly, because at some point in the sermon, he tells the people, well, one candidate is singing "How Great Thou Art" in his rallies. So you know he's making an inference to the you know, to the dictator wannabe in chief, you know. And to be and let me just tell you, like I said, there's no good side to this. You know, there's no good side to none of this. But I know I can just speak for me. I'm not your pastor, and I don't have a 501c3. And so I'm telling you personally, I wouldn't vote for the man who has 34 counts and who cheats on his wife. And you want to tell me he's for Judeo-Christian ethics and principles? Get out of here. And see, this is why God is going to get all of us. I say us, I mean us, US, not them, us. He going to get all of us. And the reason why he going to get all of us is because we don't have no business participating in this wicked mess. But since Clarence want to talk about who's unholy and who's ungodly, first of all, I think some of his behavior and some of the things that he's done strikes me as tremendously ungodly. That is the case. Okay, very, very simple. All right. So Clarence moves us out of this darn pristine church, and he gets us to start worshiping in the Palladium. I told you last week I left the Palladium, and I started to title this video Clarence McClendon and the Nomad Church. I really did, because he done had these people moving around for years, and I had really not even given it any thought. But these people have been traveling around like nomads for a long time. Okay. And I said, okay, well, Lord, what should I talk about? How do I approach this subject? And he said, I want you to talk about toxic Black leadership. I put Clarence's name in the title because he's the main one I'm going to focus on here in just a second. Now, with Clarence transferring, going all, let me. Well, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. It ain't nobody's business who you're voting for if you're voting. It ain't nobody's business. But Clarence had these people traveling around. And at one particular point, ladies and gentlemen, Clarence they were worshiping in a facility, in a place, and the owner of the facility decided that and the whole church out of the building. Oh, yes, they did. Clarence and the whole community, the church community, you all may not have known this, started calling him and asking him, well, what's going on with the ministry? And I'm gonna dispel some myths here, and we're gonna talk about some stuff. But Clarence hopped on the internet and decided that he would flip the script and tell people his ministry was fine and everything was okay.
Hey, this is Bishop Clarence E. McClendon coming to you from Los Angeles, California. And I'm excited today to be able to come to you directly. You know, in the last several days, I've had several phone calls, text messages, and other things from people who usually don't text me, usually don't call me. And of course, listen, I've always known that the gospel grapevine is alive and well. And that's a good thing. God's people have a way of communicating. But whenever something happens in the life of a man or woman of God, or in the life of a ministry, people like to start talking. They like to start saying things and putting out lies. You know, I have been preaching the gospel since I was 15 years old. I've been preaching in the greater Los Angeles area and ministering for nearly 25 years. One of the things I've learned is haters are going to hate and liars are going to lie. But my mom and dad taught me from a child that lies have short legs and they will soon run themselves to death. I'm encouraged today because I know what God has said and I know what God is doing. And it's never my job to try to respond to haters or try to respond to lies. But for all of those of you that pray with this ministry, stand with this ministry, believe God with this ministry, and sow into this ministry, you know, this ministry is alive and well. I'll be in New Orleans at the end of this week. Next month, we go to London, England for a great meeting. We'll be in London again in September. In the month of December, we're in Nairobi, Kenya. Clarence E. McClendon Ministries and the Place of Grace is strong. And even though lies are being put out and certain things have been said, I want you to know that I have responded to this. I'm not going to do it here. I have responded to this, and I'll share with you exactly what's going on. Somebody said, I heard Bishop McClendon got put out of his church. Not true. That's not the story. If you want to know what actually is happening, and I'm talking now to those of you who pray for us, those of you who stand with this ministry, those of you that sow into this ministry, I have prepared a response, facts that are true and incontrovertible, and I've shared the word of the Lord with those who want to hear it. And here's what you can do. You can go to my website, bishopmcclendon.com. You can download my response there, or you can go to Facebook. You can download my response there. Here's what I want to say to you. Like the Apostle Paul in Philippians 1:12, when he was under attack and things were happening, and I'm not under attack. I want you to know we're doing well, and you stay tuned. But Paul said this.
And I want you to keep in mind, he said he wasn't under attack, and they doing, keep that in mind. While I pull up, need to show y'all. Now, if you're taking notes tonight, the first point I want to make to you all tonight about toxic leaders and toxic leadership. Number one, toxic leaders are all about their reputation. That's number. Write that down. A toxic leader is all about their reputation. Now, I'm about to take you somewhere, so y'all hold on a moment. Hold on a moment. Let me pull it up. And if you're taking notes, I told you this is going to be one of these shows, because I've been to the mountaintop, and we need to have us a conversation. Because Clarence said the ministry was doing fine. Isn't that what he said? Now, Clarence said the ministry was doing fine, and he was fine, and everything was fine. All right, let me share this with you. Clarence said the ministry was fine. He was doing fine, and the people was lying. All right, let me show you this. Let's get to the word here. All right, I'm gonna turn this up. Hopefully y'all should be able to hear it. And we're gonna talk about this here. Let me say this. The first point, like I said, I wanted to make tonight is a toxic leader and toxic Black leadership. They are all about their reputation. The second point I want to make to toxic leadership is they typically use people. And they manipulate circumstances and situations, and they try to fit the narrative. Now, while I was preparing for this, the first thing that came to my mind was narcissist. And I had never really thought about it that way, but I want y'all to understand the man is a narcissist. Now, while he's out on social media telling everybody everything is fine, the church is fine, we're doing good, I want you to hear the excuse that he gave for being put out of the church. Now, I want y'all to understand, they're meeting right now in an auditorium. I believe this looks like a school auditorium, as a matter of fact. And I want you to hear what he says and how he handles this situation.
This opportunity to share with you, first of all, that this is a day of great victory. Amen. I hope it looked like.
Now, they out of their church, and he hollering about it's a day of great victory. Okay? I'm just saying.
But this is a day of great victory for us. I'm going to be sharing some things with you over the next few minutes that will, number one, apprise you of what has happened. And I know whenever matters like this and situations happen, people start talking, people start gossiping, people start saying things. But as your bishop, as the prophet of God in this house, as the visionary, I want to share with you exactly what has transpired, what is transpiring, and what the Lord has done for us. And it is a wonderful thing that he has done for us. And as the Lord was dealing with me about it over the last couple of days, he made some things very clear to me. Now, most of you know and are aware, and I'm going to share the word in just a moment, but I want to do this first. Most of you know and are aware that for the last 3 years we've been at the 1830 location, and you remember when we moved there and when that opportunity came before us, the Spirit of the Lord said to us very clearly that the move that we made from Gardena into that place was a staging move. You remember?
I want to just interject here, and this is just me talking to you all. I told you that when Clarence and when we left the 2600 La Brea Avenue and we went over to the Palladium, the first thing that Clarence did on Mother's Day was told us, welcome to our new church home, because God had spoke to him and told him that that's where we were supposed to be worshiping. And what I find it interesting about the God that Clarence serves or is talking to all the time seems to not understand that we didn't have a church home, and he kept changing his mind every time Clarence decided he wanted to do something else. So it's like whatever Clarence wanted to do and wherever Clarence wanted to go and whatever Clarence wanted to do, then God was changing his mind at the same time. Now you hear him just say in this video that when they other move, that God told him that they wasn't going to be there that long, but they had been there for 3 years, and that they weren't supposed to take permanent residence up in this place as well. But just let me, because I told you we got a long road to go.
Remember that? How many of you remember us saying that? It was a staging. We knew that it wasn't a permanent location for us, and we were clear about that, but we also knew that the Lord had directed us to make that particular move. And he said it was a staging move for us. Those of you who were with us in that time period will recall that I had shared with you then that the Lord said to me that we were not to try to acquire an actual building for a period of 5 years.
Now, here's why I want to interject again. Now, we done moved from the Palladium. You said that was supposed to be our church home. Now you got these people worshiping somewhere else. And God says to you, that y'all not supposed to buy no church for 5 years. Now, I want you all to understand something, that throughout all of this moving and carrying on, there is millions of dollars being spent. Understand something. Millions of dollars are being spent from when we were in La Brea to coming all the way over here to this, wherever he may have been at the time. These people are spending millions of dollars. And if you don't think there's dollars, wait till he tells you how much money they done spent for this debacle that he's got him in right here.
Move would be a staging move. We were hoping that that move would secure us for that 5-year period. We were only able to get that lease for 3 years. So we went to 1830, and we knew that it was not a permanent location. And that lease commenced and began on March 5th of 2015. How many of you were with us in March 5th of 2015? Doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but that's been 3 years, almost 3 years ago now. March 5th of 2015.
So now we're talking, what is this, 2017? Okay, so y'all need to understand, it's 2017. I stopped going, I believe it was in 2005. So from 2005, now it's now 2017. They still ain't got no church. Oh, God. Let me go on, Lord Jesus. Toxic leadership. I hope you're making notes. Point number 1, they're all about their reputation. Number 2, they use people. I want you to keep in mind they use people, because we're going to talk about that. We're going to come right on back to that. We're going to come right on back to that.
And we were responsible at that time for forwarding a security deposit. Of course, it was a lease property. And the security deposit at that time was $228. We raised that money. Those of you who were with us know we believed God. We raised that money in a short period of time. Then we went to sign the lease, and the owner of the building, the owner of the property, then changed the deal. Y'all remember that?
Now, I want you to understand, he's saying the owner of the building changed the deal. They don't know that. They don't know that. They just going off whatever Clarence's account or version of the account, because they didn't bring the owner of the building in to give his account of the story. But that's just how Clarence is shaping the narrative, because that's how he's saying it went down. But I've seen this beautiful beam footage before, but let's go.
Changed the deal and asked for twice that much in order for us to secure the property. And so God worked miraculously on our behalf, and we came up with $450,000 in 3 months in order to secure that property. And those of you that stood and shared.
He said, we came up with the money. See, that's another thing I don't like about these preachers. We came up with the money. No, you came to them people and you asked for the money and then people gave it. And you might have gave them a little bit of money with your honorariums. And if you were traveling or doing that, to some, we came up with the money. But primarily, the people of God pay for the 400,000. Now, understand something, guys. We were raising money way over on La Brea. Every man take a beam. We had started work way over on La Brea. I'm just saying, Clarence, something is off here. Something is off here, Clarence. When we went to the Palladium, we were still raising money. When we went through Harvest Fire, we were still raising money. Clarence. Okay. All right. Whatever.
And believe with us in that. You did a great thing, so you should give yourselves a real good God bless you, because that was miraculous. Now, we did it because we were committed to it, and we believe that the Lord had spoken to us concerning that location being a staging location and a staging move. So even when he, at the last minute, lacked integrity and switched the deal, we believed God, and we went ahead and went forward with it. And we raised that total over 3 months. And so once we got there, we began to build out, and we said we were not going to put a whole lot of money into the property. We wanted to make it habitable, but we were not going to beautify it to that degree because we weren't going to remain there. And that wasn't a good investment. And so once we got into the building, we started doing various things. And we discovered that we were not able to do some of the things we were purposed to do because of the condition of the building. I'm going to let Sister Danae Busby Howard, our COO, speak to that in just a moment. But suffice it to say, there were things because of the age of that building. When we leased it, the property owner could not provide us with certain specs because of the age of the building. So we didn't get a chance to look through certain things that would normally have been looked through. But once again, we knew the Lord had spoken.
Now he's saying that because of the age of the building, he wasn't able to look through some of the things. You got to listen with critical ears. We weren't able to look through some of the things that we needed to look through. But wait a minute. You guys have been in the building, you said, for 3 years. So 3 years is not enough time for you to start looking through specs and looking through things concerning the building?
It was to be there, so we went on about the business. And so during the course of that time, we have the course of that lease. I want you to get this.
And Felix, you need to know he's not in the school now, but I'm going to get to that.
In the course of that lease, we as a body of believers over the last 2 years have paid over $2 million into that lease, and almost $85,000 went into the construction over.
So understand something. He's talking almost $300,000-$400,000 that they have spent in a building. Okay, that he says that the Lord told him that they wasn't going to be in there anyway. I'm just saying. Okay, this is what he said. You heard him in the video. I didn't make it up. He said it.
For $2 million, this ministry has generated. That's not all the money. That's not even the operating expense of the ministry. That's just building.
Now, understand, he just gave y'all an indication to how much money is being raised and how much money is being given. They have already given almost over $500,000 just to this building. And he just told you that doesn't even include the operational budget of the ministry and the church. Keep going.
Yeah. Are y'all here? Yeah. So you should give yourselves a tremendous element of faith. And so you are aware, and I shared with you in the last month, that there were some issues that had happened as we were building out. Some things had happened, and we had gotten behind on some things.
Notice he said we had gotten behind on some things. Oh, you talking bills, Clarence? You got behind on the bills, Clarence? Just a question. And the reason why I'm asking these questions, because, this Judeo-Christian principle that you want to make sure gets established in the earth has you behind on some bills.
And we also need to clear up some things in order to make the construction functional. Now, I need you to pay very close attention to what I'm getting ready to say. Because for the last 3 to 4 weeks, we have been in negotiations almost every day. And Danae Busby Howard, stand up, Danae, has been our David in that.
Look at this crowd. They ain't gonna show you the whole crowd.
Literally,
This the church hanging on by a thread, Jesus.
again, this past week, I was on the phone just before I left in those negotiations. And to make the situation very clear, I need you to hear me very clearly. We have satisfied every financial obligation that is required of us as relates to that lease. I'm going to say that again.
Now, this is what he's telling the people. He said, we done satisfied everything that we needed to satisfy concerning that building, but they ain't in the building. They in the gymnasium. Okay, let's go on. At this time.
We have satisfied the financial obligation of the lease in full. In other words, we have not been locked out of anything due to lack of payment or due to monies owed. I need you to hear that from me.
He say they not been locked out because they didn't owe money or anything left over. Let's keep listening though, because you got to listen with some good ears. Let's listen to what he actually says, because he's gonna say it, but it's gonna go by so quick. You got to pay attention.
Very clearly, because people will start talking, they'll start saying stuff. I want you to hear me really clearly. We raised over $2 million in 24 months. We have satisfied every financial obligation of that lease. We owe nothing on the lease as of this moment.
So he tells it. We don't know that to be true because that man didn't come into service and tell y'all that's what happened. But we do know y'all locked out. Let's continue at that particular time y'all were locked out. Pay attention, y'all.
The lease terminates in the month of September. So August is the last month of the lease term. The original lease term is over on September the 4th. So we were in negotiations regarding extending the lease so that we would not have to, move.
Now, what did he say? So we would not have to move.
And as we went into negotiations in extending the lease, there were figures and facts that had been presented to us. When I presented to you the information about what we owed, what Danae Busby Howard and her team found out and discovered was there was about $150,000 of padding in that amount that we didn't owe.
Now, here's what he's saying. He's saying they went into a time, you know this, ladies and gentlemen, we're all grown-ups here. It maybe some of you own a business. There are times when you go into negotiations when it comes to your lease agreement, okay? And so you're typically going to the owner's going to make going to present to you a number. You're going to come back with another number, and you guys are going to go into negotiations based upon what you got, what you want to do, or what you can do, etc. Okay, that's what I said, Elaine. Lease, not mortgage. Okay, at this particular time, I'm gonna show you where they're worshiping at in a minute.
I want you to hear. There was so basically the owner was attempting to extort us, and through intimidation and other tactics, he was trying to extort us.
He said the man was trying to extort him. The man owns a property. He's in California. California is very expensive to live in, especially when you're going to be housing. Yes, Nicola, he's still married. And you're going to have to deal with that. Okay. And he's saying the man is extorting him. If I'm going to give you my opinion, now this is my opinion and I can't prove this to be so. But just based upon Clarence's attitude, disposition, and how he conducts himself, I bet you them was some raunchy negotiations, because Clarence has a tendency to be rude and mean and narcissistic, and he thinks he's supposed to get things his way. And so I'm sure that man in him had a hell of a time in their negotiations. I'm 1,000 probably, in my opinion, sure of that.
And to the went into the archives, she started doing the math, and her team, I'll let her come and discuss that with you. And she said, Bishop, this has nothing to do with the lease. These are ancillary things. We don't owe all of this money. They're saying we do, we don't. It has nothing to do with the lease. Am I telling the truth? Nothing to do with the lease. And so when
he gonna point to her and say, am I telling the truth? She ain't got no microphone. She can't say, and you think she gonna tell in front of all of these people he could possibly be telling a lie? Of course she's not gonna do that.
we discovered that, we were looking at negotiating the matter, and we said, well, wait a minute, we're not.
Wait a minute, hold on. Before I continue, because we got a little bit of road to carry. I need for y'all to hit the X and hit the like button. I had over 600 people in here, and y'all have not hit this like button. I got only 134 likes. Can y'all please hit the like button for me, please? Because I have some other pictures and things that I'd like to show you, but I'd like to get up to at least 200 likes on this video before we move on. It's over almost 600 of you in this live. I need y'all to hit the like button. Hello, people. I put in a lot of work. Please hit the like button for me, please. If you're over there on social media, on Facebook, please give me some hearts over there. I've got over how much? Over 500 people over here just in Facebook alone. Hit the like button, please. Thank you, guys. If y'all can do it expeditiously, we can move on. Come on, y'all, please hit the like button, because I need to show you some other stuff. And I know some people are going to be mad. I don't care about you being mad on what I'm about to show. I don't care. I don't care. I just do not care. So y'all need to get over yourselves, because I don't care. I'm at almost 180. I need for thank y'all. Please hit the like button, y'all. I got a little bit more information I need to share with y'all. What time is it? Okay. And hopefully we'll go to about 5:30 my time, but I got some more stuff to show you. I really do. Okay. Dewan, shut up. I tell you that, darn Dewan. Anyway, while I'm waiting on you guys to hit the like button, I need to show you. I'm gonna show you a couple of things more here. I want to show you some stuff. Oh, y'all not gonna believe what I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway. 191. Okay, we almost at 200. Okay, hang on, y'all. I hate to do this to you, but hey, y'all don't hit the like button when you come in. Y'all know I'm going to be bringing you the madness, and y'all know I'm going to be bringing you the information. So I don't know why you just don't hit the like button when you come in. That should be the first thing you do, so we don't have to stop. Because I don't want to have to keep stopping. Y'all know me. I hate to do that. Because I get to talking and carrying on. All right, so let's go on. Let's go on to this part.
I'm not going to raise money from God's people and give you money that we don't owe you.
So he's telling the man, I'm not going to raise money from God's people and give money to you that we don't owe you because you padded that. Now, he didn't tell you how he padded it. He didn't say what was in there to determine if it was padded. All he's just saying the man padded it. And I'm just here to tell you whatsoever. Here's the thing. Clarence, you was in a desperate situation. The man knew you had no place to worship, and he had you by your kahunas, and he thought that he could, raise the price if that's what he wanted to do. It was his building, and he could do whatever he wanted to do with his building. I'm just saying. That's the reality.
So through negotiations, we began to talk and to dialogue, and then there's some things that came up because threats started coming and things began to be said. And I want to just say very clearly that this particular owner, let me give you his name because I'm going to call him out. His name is Ben Solomoni.
So here's the thing. Now, this is the pettiness of Clarence McClendon. I'm showing you the pettiness of this man. He calls this man's name out into the whole congregation. Now notice he ain't give you no private information on how the man padded the lease agreement. He didn't give you none of that information. He didn't tell you none of the details, but he gonna give you this man's name and later this man's phone number. He gave it out to the whole congregation. Now you and I know on social media, for those of us who do social media, the moment you start doing stuff like that, you know, there are kooky and crazy people who will do all sorts of things, right? But he does it.
And he is a young man. But some time ago, he had threatened us physically and made a terrorist threat against this ministry over the phone. And he had said to us, because it said nothing to do with money. This was back in February, so I'm gonna call it out, see, because I've been quiet, but now I'm about to call him out because the hand of the Lord is about to turn against him.
And so this is the other thing Clarence does. When he did, hold on, who is this? Oh my God, I can't even take this because I don't know. Y'all stop calling me. I'm gonna do my job. I don't know who you are. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Here's the thing. And I don't want to put my phone on silent, but I will put my phone on silent. Now look at these people. Why are you? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me see who this is. Hello. Oh, and now you hang up. That's what I thought. Okay. I don't know who it was. Y'all, these people, I tell you, they're getting on my nerves. But yeah, I saw somebody say this. I saw this. Very good point. Where is the where is the biblical Judeo-Christian ethic in doxing the man? Now look at this. I guarantee you this is somebody who. Hello, Mom. I'm recording my podcast right now. That's why I didn't answer the phone. Now she hangs up. Lord have mercy. Jesus be offense. Okay. But anyway, let me continue. Lord, y'all pray for me. I got a lot of stuff going on. Okay, can y'all? Let me stop sharing for a second. Okay. All right, y'all. I had to stop sharing for a second. Hold on. Don't nobody else call me, please, because y'all about to make me mad. What you calling me for? I can't get no call no other time. Here we go.
The Lord against him. So watch what will happen. Watch what will happen. So he made threats against us. This had nothing to do with that. He was wanting to show the building at a certain time. And of course, if you're leasing a building, you know, an owner can show the building, but they have to give you some sort of notice. And he didn't give us some sort of notice. And so we said no. And then he started making threats. And I quote, he said, "You don't know who you're effing with."
And Clarence, is probably true. You don't know who you effing with. But I'm sure Clarence was being hard-nosed because if the man wanted to show the building to other people and other folks want to pay for it, and Clarence want to remain in the building, he's going to make it very hard for the man to get in the building. This don't take a rocket science to figure this stuff out.
He said, "I'll destroy you and your entire family." He said, "I'll wipe you and the church off the face of the earth." He said, "After I'm done, it will be like you never existed." So let me say this out loud, Mr. Solomon. After I'm done, it'll be like you never existed.
Now, isn't that ridiculous? And y'all want to clap talking about some hallelujah. What? But y'all remember the first social media post he put up? He said his ministry was fine. Everything was fine. Let me go on.
And these are threats we have them documented. Here's the paperwork. And when we got into the negotiations, and they were trying to extort us, we brought up the fact that here this is a man who had made terroristic threats against us and this ministry.
Now, here's a funny thing. Because you mad at the man because the man want more money, and you, of course, don't want to pay him more money. You want to result to, oh, now he was making terroristic threats. He probably wasn't making it against the church. He was probably making it against your ass. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all pray for me.
It actually been kind and benevolent to him.
And if you want to believe that Clarence was kind to this man throughout this whole process, I have some land, some swamp land I can sell you.
Anyway, during the last 3 weeks of negotiations, when these things came up, we determined in order to make sure caught up in front of you. Remember, we had doubled the amount of the security deposit, which
now remember, he said he had fallen behind on some things. Some bills hadn't gotten paid. Listen very carefully.
Was really unjust in the first place, but we did it because we believed that the Lord had done it. So when they came up with monies that we said we owed, we said, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll surrender a portion of our security deposit, which is what that stuff is for anyway. Because basically we've already raised the money and paid you. So we said we'll surrender a portion of that deposit. And Danae had negotiated the matter. She spoke and she was on the phone with me. They said, Bishop, they need you to sign documents. They won't take my signature. I said, I'm not on the original lease. They want you to sign it. I said, okay, I'll sign it. So they faxed me stuff. I electronically signed it. I'm trying to rest, trying to, let my son run in the water and play on stuff. And I'm trying to do this, and I'm signing it. So we got it back. And then at the last moment, after I signed it and got it back, I guess somebody got impatient. The owner, I was told, got impatient. And so I want you to hear me very clearly. It was not the sheriff or any legal people that locked those doors.
Okay, pay close attention. He said it wasn't the sheriff or any legal people who locked those doors. So, Clarence, so you did get locked out of the church.
The owner came because the negotiation broke down, and he asked that the locks on the doors be changed.
The locks were changed. So if the locks were changed on the doors, that means you in the church couldn't get in, which essentially means you was locked out of the church. Everything is fine. Remember, he said that in the first video. He told the people everything was fine.
We were not locked out by the police or the sheriff. We were locked out by an extortionist.
But wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen, just had another thought hit me. He said that they had fallen behind on some bills and that the man could just use the rest of the security deposit to get them, quote unquote, caught up on whatever monies was owed. But I guess whatever monies was owed, the man didn't want to use the security deposit. He wanted them to pay him his money. So he went and locked them doors because you wasn't ready to sign them papers. I'm just saying, let me go on.
Wow. Premature, immature owner.
So do you think it's immature to come to a church and a congregation and give out a man's phone number and name? I'm just saying, is that immature? Is it immature to get in your feelings when you're discussing business, period? Okay.
Who was ticked off because we would not simply acquiesce to his lies and to his extortion.
You haven't said how the man tried to extort you. The only thing you said is that he padded the agreement. You have not yet told us how he padded the agreement. This is what he's telling the congregation. And when we talk about toxic leadership, ladies and gentlemen, because this is what this whole conversation is about tonight. If you're taking notes, number one, they're all about their reputation. Number two, they use people. Millions of dollars have been used in order for them to get where they need to, go in this particular church. Here's a third thing. I want you to write this down or take notes if you're taking notes. Pushback or disagreements with them are highly frowned upon. So the moment that you disagree with him or the moment that you disagree with them, they push back and you have a hard time dealing with them. I'm going to just go ahead on and continue. The fourth thing I want you to write down is they are full of pride. What you are hearing is pride. And Teresa, you can if you want to, but looks like you over here. Looks like you're over here. And this is not gossip. I'm trying to help some people understand how not to be used and abused by toxic leadership. Teresa, you don't understand that? You don't understand that. All right. I need you to understand. And you need to go learn the definition of toxic. That's what you need to do. Go learn the definition of the word toxic and the word gossip. You don't know what the word gossip means. This is public information, stupid. Everything that I just told you, you can go look it up and you can find it out for your darn self. I didn't tell you anything. The only thing you needed to know. Now, some of this other stuff part that you didn't know, but it's out there in the public. It's public information. But I'm gonna leave it there because you're about to make me go off on you. And I'm giving you some grace, Teresa, because you obviously don't know me. And so I'm giving you some grace. I really am.
Are you here? Yeah. And so we decided we would stand our ground and we would appeal to the court of heaven. I want Danae to come real quickly and talk just a moment about the...
I'm going to tell you, you can appeal to the court of heaven, but you appealing to the court of heaven from that gymnasium and not from behind the doors of where you were worshiping at. So you can appeal all you want to, but you got locked out and you got put out, and it's just that simple. It don't take a rocket science to understand that. All right. Very, 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 very simple. Very, 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 very simple. Now, since Teresa don't like information and I'm giving out, let me go, and I must be ruffling somebody's feathers. So as I said to you guys before, this was the church that we worshiped at before. If you've ever seen that church on television, you know this is where we were on Adams and La Brea. Now, while we were worshiping on Adams and La Brea, Clarence was living here. Now, I did some research here. Let me be very frank. I did some research. This house was purchased in 1998 for $2.something million. Okay. Now I need for you to understand something and get this very, very clear. I want you to understand something very clear. In 1998, 97 is when I joined the ministry. 98 is when this house was purchased. And I told you guys at some point, Clarence came to us and told us that he and his family was home. And when he came and told us that the family was homeless, because I do remember him telling us that he was already living in this estate, according to the research and the stuff that I have found. He was already living here when he told us that foolishness. And so to all my friends who are going to watch this video, who are part of the Church of the Harvest, I need for you all to understand, when he told us that time that he was homeless and he wasn't, didn't have a place to live, they were living right there. Lies. Okay. Bunch of, okay. I'm just saying, don't get told y'all I don't play these types of games. That's the front of the house. This is the back of the house. Don't play with me. Now, I'm not putting anybody's address out there. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. And we were worshiping here, and you were living here. Okay? Now, at one particular point in time, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and put this up while I can. Let me put this up. At one particular point in time, you all were worshiping in something that resembled this. And while you all were worshiping in a tent, he was living here. Okay. So you were worshiping here while he was living here. Wow. Okay. Now, millions of dollars, as you heard Clarence say in that video, given to this entire process. This stuff there have been lots and lots of money spent, but we're talking about toxic Black leadership. That's a topic tonight, but I'm giving you information and I'm showing you and tying it to the larger issue here. Okay. So millions of dollars have been spent. And I don't know, what do you want to know? What swimming pool? There's a swimming pool in the backyard. Yes. Yeah, that's called a swimming pool. It's in the backyard. See that? That's the swimming pool back there. Backyard swimming pool. All right. But at the same time, he's living here. These people are worshiping in a tent. Not this particular tent, but a tent somewhat similar. One of these white tents. They was up on 135th and Torrance. Now, this man has gone from 5 services a week, one of the fastest growing ministries in Los Angeles, to now he is worshiping here. And he is calling it the place of grace. Now, I want you to look at the sign. The sign says the worship experience, Sundays at he doesn't even have multiple services. He only has one service because he's in the process of trying to build this stuff back up. He is on the corner of Manchester in Los Angeles, not too far from Crenshaw. I think if you go down, now I'm going to show you something on the map because we're talking about toxic leadership. Now, I don't went through the first 4. Let me tell you what they were. They're all about their reputation. They use people. They push back or disagree, or when they're disagreed with, they frown upon that. They're full of pride. Their leadership style, if you're keeping up with me, number 5 is autocratic. They don't like to listen to others' opinions and they tend to micromanage. Now, let me tell you another trait of toxic leadership amongst Black churches. We feel like just because you're the pastor or they name you the pastor, leader, apostle, or bishop, that you're some sort of businessman. It's been traveling around nomadically for years. Now, I don't know whether or not he owns that building over there called the Place of Grace or not. God, I hope they do at this particular point in time. But I just want to tell you, this is the main reason. It's the main reason why they've been traveling all around. And I alluded to this earlier. The reason why Marvin Winans and them cannot build this church is because these people, you cannot build and steal at the same time. And when I say steal, that means you cannot take money designated for certain purposes and situations and decide that you want to live, however you want to live. And yes, it's a movie theater or ex-movie theater. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet, Keisha. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. They ain't seen nothing yet. Number 5, their leadership style is autocratic. They don't listen to others' opinions. They tend to micromanage. They don't allow others to do the jobs that they've been called to do. I don't know if you guys remember when I did that Dr. Dingleberry breakdown, when he was talking about the inner circle and not letting people get too close, and you guys need to be aware of people when they say they're good at something and they're really good at something. You got to watch them. No, it's called doing your job. And if somebody's exceptional in a certain specific area, you should let them do their job. Okay, let's go on. Number 6, they typically tend to be self-absorbed. All right, now I want to do something here. I'm going to take you guys into some Google Math, Google Earth situation. Let me go to Google Earth here. I want to show y'all something. I need to, wait a minute. Let me go to Google Earth. And I need to show y'all something. Because he's holy and not to listen and sit down when somebody's trying to help you. All right, I'm going to take y'all here. Let me go here. Over there, centered over there. Wait, let's go first. Let's go to Google. Put in the address. All right. Show y'all something. All right. Let me share my screen. Oh, I mean business. I'm not playing with nobody no more. You can get as mad as you want to. I do not care. And don't come this week telling me nothing because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm talking about toxic leadership. All right. This is the street view of where they're worshiping. Okay. Now, I want to turn this around so you can see something. Now, I want you to see here or right across the street on the corner is a Winchell's Donuts. On this side of the street, there is an auto zone. You can't see it, auto zone. You guys might have something called O'Reilly or something like that, but you know, that's everywhere. This is auto zone. Okay, let me turn it around. This is a parking lot here, right? Across the street down here is a Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree has parking here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, directly across the street from the Dollar Tree is the Place of Grace. Have y'all seen any parking for the Place of Grace? Have y'all seen any parking for the Place of Grace? I ain't seen no parking. So, you know me, I said, well, Marcellus, maybe the parking is on the other side of the building. So I said, okay, let me see what the side of the building looks like. So this is the other side of that same building. So you know me being me, I said, well, where in the world are they parking their cars? So I just started going down the street because I'm like, there's got to be some parking somewhere. Now, this is residential homes and neighborhoods here. But I said, well, maybe the parking's behind the building. So then I said, well, Marcellus, turn your attention. Hold on. Wait. Go back. Wait a minute, because this is the back of the building. Come over here. And I said, well, maybe the parking's back here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we just take a stroll down this alley? So I kept going down the alley, because it's a pretty big building. So I said, well, maybe the parking's down behind the alley. So I'm going down behind the alley, and lo and behold, look at what's behind this alley. Right next to the Place of Grace. Now, they got cameras right here. These are some cameras, right? This is the place, the Cosmopolitan Center. So can't find no parking. So y'all would have to help me figure out where in the world these people over there are parking. Yes, indeed. Millions of dollars for them to end up right here. Y'all sit with that for a minute. Millions. Okay, now let me get back to what I was saying with you guys for just to make sure I get my points out. All right, here's another thing, because I gave you number 6. I said they were self-absorbed. Let me give you number 7, because we're talking toxic leadership. Toxic leadership. Listen to me carefully. They seek a minimalistic structure of accountability. They never want to be held accountable to anybody. All of this traveling around for all of these years is because somebody said to this man he had to sit down for 6 months because he got a divorce. And they have been traveling. And now they are sitting here at the Place of Grace with one service because that they didn't want to sit down. Now, I'm also going to tell you another thing when it comes to toxic leadership. They lack transparency. They're not transparent. So on a part of accountability is transparency, because you need to be transparent with the numbers, you need to be transparent with the figures, and you need to be transparent with what you're doing. And if you are a pastor or a leader, I want you to hear me very carefully. This is why I said when you go into a building project or a building fund, the pastor should not have access to the money. There needs to be a 2-signature account. The pastor's one signature and the person who is responsible for the building fund needs to be on that. And it needs to be required that the pastor has to have that other person's signature before they are allowed to do anything. But that's too much accountability and way too much transparent church community. Now, they typically surround themselves, number 9, with sycophants. And what they are is that's your inner circle. Those are your yes men, your family members, as well as just yes people around you who would just agree to whatever you say. Oh, this is a great idea, Bishop. No, it's not a good idea for us to be worshiping in no tent. That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea for us to spend $3 million on these buildings and trying to beautify them so you can remain on TV. Well, Bishop, why don't we? Oh, here's the thing. And this is another thing I want you to understand. He had to do it because he could not go off TV, because TV is where the money is at. And he's not going to let you embarrass him. He's not going to let you put him in a situation where he's embarrassed, because he's got to stay on TV, because TV is where the money reside. Where the money reside, where the money reside. And here's another thing, toxic leadership. Number 10, it is a performative based spirituality. All of this performance. Well, I'm going to call him out right now because God is about to turn on you, and what you said was going to be our demise is going to be yours, Mr. Soleimani. Performance. It's a bunch of performance, just a bunch of performance. Number 11, gatekeeping. You can go back and you can write this down. Gatekeeping. How do they gatekeep? If you're a minister on staff or you're somebody who works on staff, they want to tell you when, where you can go and what you can do. Gatekeeping. Well, I don't want you going and using your gifts. Only in this house can you use your gift. You call to preach, but you got to preach only in one place. And the 12th thing is financial abuse. I don't know about you, but my opinion of what I just saw and what I just showed you guys is a tremendous amount of financial irresponsibility, in my opinion. And I'm entitled to it. Because you tell me you go from this, and you had some other places before this, down to this, and you want to tell me that you are a responsible person with God's people's with money. Okay, I'm not buying it. Selling. Now, when I was doing my research, I started finding some other places. And see, the sad part about it is they're taking this stuff over to Africa and to other foreign countries, making it look like they're successful ministers, when they got you worshiping over here in these raggedy places and saying that that's the will of God. And here's the thing, horrible administrators. Horrible administrators. It's ridiculous. And you've gone from one place to the other place to the other place. And I don't care if you're mad. You can say whatever you want. And yes, this, you know what spawned this? You coming out here trying to tell people where and who they can vote for. That's not none of your place to be telling nobody who they can vote for. Talking about it's ungodly. You're ungodly. You did, folks, and to Church of the Harvest is ungodly. I think that's ungodly. I'm just saying. And I got a whole lot more to talk about this subject, so I might end up having to do a part 2. But I've given you the 12 things. Let's go over them again. Number 1, they're all about their reputation. Clarence came out there with that stupid video talking about my ministry is fine. We're okay. all while the doors was locked. Number two, they use people. I don't give a flying flip what you say. You take people's money and you don't do what you're supposed to do with folks' money. You use folks. Number three, you push back when somebody has a disagreement with you, and you frown upon anybody saying anything negative to you because you're the quote unquote spiritual leader. Foolishness. Number four, you're full of pride. When nobody can come up to you and tell you anything about the drama and the mess that you created, you are full of pride. Number five, your leadership style is autocratic. It is, you don't listen to others' opinions. You tend to micromanage everything when you don't even have no management skills. And you don't allow other people to just simply do their jobs that they're called. The reason why y'all been going from pillar to post for years, and now you're over there in that raggedy building, and I'm gonna call it a raggedy building. Number six, you're self-absorbed. What you saw in Preachers of LA clearly showed you how self-absorbed the man is. I don't even need to talk about that. They seek a minimalistic structure of accountability. Marvin, Winans, who are you being held accountable for the money? And who's reporting to you on a weekly, monthly basis on how much money is being raised for you guys to finish this building? Okay, anyway, I don't want to tell y'all how to do the thing because it can be done, but y'all so stupid. Number eight, the lack of transparency. You need to be transparent to the whole church. How much money you raised last week, last month, last year for this project. Y'all have programs and bulletin boards. It needs to be printed in the bulletin board so that the church will know what you've done, how you've done, and how much money you've raised. It needs to be transparent. Here's the funny thing. When I go to the white people church, all that stuff is in the bulletin. They'll tell you how much the budget was, how much money was raised. Only we this darn secretive. And I don't know why we're so secretive. And you surround yourself, number nine, with sycophants. These are people that are just your family, your friends, and your yes men. These are the people that you just tell you, oh, okay, pastor, that's a good idea. We gonna go worship in a tent. When it rains and it pours and the rain comes, we'll be sitting in a tent. Somebody said Divine Worship says I'm a former member and I remember you, sir. Preach. Okay, good, Divine, good. Because I'm gonna put the link in here in a minute, and I'm gonna tell y'all something else that y'all did to me last week. Let me continue. Number 10, performative spirituality. Everything is a performance. I remember. Well, I don't want to go down this. It's in the other video. Clarence, you always performing. I don't need a preacher who performs. I need a preacher who preaches the word, sticks to the word, teaches the word, is humble in spirit, humble in heart, loves God's people. People don't need all of this performance. Number 11, gatekeeping. And number 12, financial abuse. I'm going to drop the link that wants to come up. At this time, it's going to be for anybody. I ain't putting it out for any specific person. And you guys, if you guys haven't noticed in our on our live, YouTube is giving us the ability to set a goal for super chats. If you want to be a blessing to us inside of the chat, you can hit the button. There's a little bullseye button at the top of the chat. If y'all hit that button, I believe it'll tell you. We got 16 more minutes to fulfill our budget. I tried to use that for the first time. I didn't even tell y'all about it because I've been too busy working on this, but I need at least 10 of y'all to give $10 if you can tonight. Whether you, what is that thing? I don't even remember what it's called. That's what it is. I can't even remember. I'm so mad. Okay. And that's just for the equipment. That's just for me paying all of these darn bills and getting all this stuff paid. Somebody says, Felix says I need to start a channel. I heard that, Felix. Let me put this link in here for y'all if I haven't done it already. But there's a link if you want to come up. And I had to get a head start on this because I wanted to go through that. And I didn't even go through everything. I might come back and pick that up another time. But for the meantime, you got my point. You know, this is just the bottom line to it. We're just talking about toxic Black leadership. Marvin, Clarence, and all of these folks, toxic. Very toxic. Get into comments. Let me read some of these comments. I can't get over there. Let me see. Let me read your comments, Lord. Let me move this. Can I move? No, I think your comments will come up anyway. There we go. Let me read your comments. Oh, y'all been talking. Yeah, he always gave the wrong advice. And divine worship, I used to sit next to him of over there on the other side, on Clarence side, you know that. Every now and then, but my primarily said, if you remember me, I sat on the other side, because I don't play that stuff. It is cultish. It is cultish. Yeah, absolutely. He don't want to put them messages up. He don't want to put them messages up. Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. No. And if he is, God help him. God help him. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to drop the link again for y'all. I need to pin it to the top if I can. I need to go over here to my YouTube channel and pin that link. Can I pin that link? Let me see. Oh, I know some people going to be mad. I already done got phone calls, so don't trip. I'm good. I'm good. You want to. Now, this is just me being nice. I'm just saying. I ain't said nothing. All I did was tell the truth. That's my opinion. Parents don't like it. Let me go to my channel here. How do I get to the darn channel on this side? I got to pin that. Get in here. I do not care if Clarence. Let me see. All right. So I pinned the link. So the link is at the top. So don't nobody need to say that you don't have access to the link, because now the link's pinned on the top. So I ain't got to worry and keep putting it back in there. Of course we all left. A lot of the church members left. I did recognize, I believe I'm not going to call his first name. I'll say Elder Logan. I recognized his wife in one of the videos the other day. I recognized her. But everybody's gone. I don't recognize hardly none of them people. And I wouldn't even go in there. To be honest with you, I don't want to be up in there. Don't nobody want to be in there no more. Don't nobody want to be in there. All right, let me see where I'm at here. But let me just tell you what you say. From having over 10,000 people a week worshiping with you in a building, and now you end up on Manchester near Crenshaw, which ain't the best place to be. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you go down the street, if my memory serves me correctly, if you go, what way would that be? You're going, is that east? I think that's east on Manchester. You run into the old building where there used to be a Big Lots over there, and they turned it into a Big Lots, but that was James Cleveland's church. If I'm not mistaken, James Cleveland's church used to be on this. First of all, he's not Baptist. He's not Baptist. He's not Baptist. That's the other thing. This people just don't realize what's going on. They don't realize. It's just a bunch of. Yeah, somebody says I'm late. Dewan, where you at? I was talking to Dewan and Marjorie yesterday about this TD Jakes thing. Y'all need to hit the button. You I'm waiting so we can have our conversation publicly. Everybody left Carlton, Tamaya. Everybody left him. I hope I said your name right. Everybody left Carlton. And ain't no need to put no sugar coating on it. Yeah. This the place where you done landed. But I guess God called him here. Y'all don't get me started. Because the man lies so much I just can't take it no more. You said Western and Slauson. No, they turned James Cleveland Church into a Big Lots. It's on this same. Let me see if I can pull it up. If it's on over here. Wait a minute. Who said that? VE. I thought no, his church got turned into a Big Lots, and I don't remember there being no Big Lots on Western and Slauson. I'm trying to think. Was it on Western and Slauson? I'm trying to think. It could have been. Did they turn did the building turn into a Big Lots? Because I know it turned into a Big Lots. Now that I'm sure of. Oh Lord, it's so much. She said they say it was a market. Yeah, I know, but they turned it into a Big Lots. That's how I always remember where it was. And when I drive by, I always remember because it was the Big Lots. Now, if it's a market now, then it's a market because it went from Big Lots to a market, I guess. Wow, that's interesting. Toxic leadership, black leadership. This is crazy. Absolutely nut. Over there. So don't blame me because I didn't put him in the tent. And I didn't put him in the place like this so that these people spend all these millions of dollars worshiping and put him over there. I did not do that. I'm just saying. And anybody come up, somebody put in my chat last week about Mark Harthorne. I remember Mark. When he was single. I remember Mark before he got married. Mark ran the usher department, usher board. Mark was great. Some people, when you're in leadership, sometimes, everybody's going to complain with you sometime when you're in leadership. You can't help that. And Tamaya says, apparently they own 2 additional properties attached to the church. And what difference does that make? I mean, come on. I guess they're going to use that for the offices. I mean, at this point, it doesn't make any difference to me. You're just a waste of money. I'm just saying. It's just the truth. And I'm tired. I'm tired of these people. God knows I am. I'm tired of these people. And I appreciate those of you that are cash apping. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Why did he start calling himself a prophet and why? I don't know. Good luck on that. I have not well, it's based on the money. Because if you're a prophet, then you can go and you can get more honorariums and more money. I ain't see no parking. Y'all see some parking? We went down the alley. We went down the whole alley. We went down the alley. Where the parking? You can either park in the Auto Zone, the Winchell's Donuts, or you can go park in the Dollar Tree. But the Dollar Tree is open on Sunday, and so is Auto Zone. I'm sure the Winchell's Donuts is probably open on Sunday too. So where are these people parking? Oh, this is crazy. That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking questions, ladies and gentlemen. He can get mad all he wants to. I do not care. And I know I'm going to have some people mad at me, but I just don't care anymore. It don't make no sense. And he just be lying and then going to get on the internet talking about who Kamala Harris is ungodly and who's financing her. Who's financing you? And who's been financing you? To go from here to a tent to a movie theater. And keep in mind, the whole time that you've been doing all of this, people have been raising money to make sure that you was able to still live here. That's the only thing I want to say. Paying thousands of dollars a month to make sure that you live there. Just saying. Clarence, you ought to knock it off. You got a whole nerve. You just got a whole nerve. Ladies and gentlemen, the stream link is pinned. So if anybody wants to come up, you are free to do so, because I done went through all 12 of my points talking about toxic leadership. Very interesting. But Elon's backing him. I guess nobody's worried about Elon. It's just sickening. I don't like it. I don't like it. Not at all. And I'll deal with Dr. Dingleberry and that other situation another day. I got too many things to do. Maybe St. James will pick it up, and I'll support St. James or one of y'all on there. Let me see. Oh God, what's going on? These neighbors, I swear to God, these neighbors are something else. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's right. It is Halloween, huh? I done forgot. Oh Lord, I forgot. Everybody, let me see. Yeah. Oh, well, I appreciate that. I don't think I cussed him out. Not yet. I'd like to, though. I'd really like to. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And whomever you are, your judgment has been sealed as well. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. It's goofy. And I'm about to take real good care of you too, with your goofy self. Because I don't like dealing with people who can't be mature about circumstances and situations. You just need to go on about your business, because I surely hadn't cussed him yet, but he sure deserve it. Oh, yes, he does. He surely deserves it. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I'll deal with that later. I ain't got time. All right. Thank y'all so much for watching the program tonight. I really appreciate it. Oh, for the love of God. And see, this is how dumb these folks can get. Isn't this ridiculous? And all they want to do is defend their system. This is what they do. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, let me get over here. All right, guys, thank y'all so much. I'm sorry. I was trying to do something. I thought so. I think I did pretty good. And that's with me not even going in on the man. These people are so stupid. I'll deal with them. I'll deal with these people. Don't worry. I got you. I understand. I got you. I feel you. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for supporting the program. Thank y'all. I got to go to work because I got a real job and I got work to go do. I love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Make sure you support the channel. If you haven't purchased a membership, make sure you do so. That's how we establish the channel, keep the channel going. And for God's sakes, somebody send a cash app to support the channel. If you're in the replay game, make sure you support the channel as well. We got a long road to go. God bless you guys, and I'll talk to y'all at another time. God bless. Good night, all.
Mad Church Disease, a channel that's all about current events, news, and Christian drama. A channel that's dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Our brothers and sisters who courageously stepped outside the safe bounds of institutional Christianity to tell the truth. a channel whose goal is to help the average person understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. So like, comment, subscribe, and smash the notifications button to be a part of this channel.